So hello and welcome to the UCI World Championships for Cycling Esports. It is our Open Public Qualifier for 2025. It's qualifier number 3 here, powered by MyWhoosh, and our riders are looking forward to be heading into those semi-finals in October, and then of course into those live finals that take place in Abu Dhabi in the middle of November. We saw two very, very exciting qualifiers in 1 and 2, a number of riders going through, and in between them, we've had some national federations with qualification races on MyWhoosh.
Yeah, we have indeed. And so some of the entrants into today's Open Qualifier have picked up qualifications in their own nationals qualification races. So some of the riders on the entry sheets from the USA won't be here today, but there are a lot of riders who are. So this is the third qualification race from 4. And 20 nationalities on the women's start sheets today, 26 nationalities on the men's. It's going to be an absolute cracker to see who can qualify from the third of the Open qualifiers here.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. I think it's going to be an absolute blast, and I hope you're going to be along for the journey as long as we are here. We're really looking forward to that action. Emma, it's a points competition. So hello and welcome to the UCI Cycling Esports World Championships for 2025. This is number 3 of our Open Public Qualifiers powered by MyWhoosh, where our riders are looking forward to making their way through from those qualifiers to the semi-finals in October and the finals in November. This is going to be really exciting. My name's Matt Payne. I'm in the studio with Emma Martin once again. And Emma, we've just seen our riders who have entered into here. In between entering and the racing, there's a number of qualifiers. I think there's New Zealand in progress. There's the Australia and everybody. I mean, the American one was very recently.
Yeah, it was last night, so less than 12 hours ago. And in fact, United Kingdom also doing their qualification process recently, so a number of those riders may not take to the start because they may well have picked up qualification through their national governing body. Well, for those of us who are in the start pen, we're heading to AlUla, 32.4 kilometres of racing, 378 metres of climbing. And I can tell you, this is a points race, not a first across the line race. So that is going to change the nature of the racing today. So the 5 opportunities to score points. The first one at the 6.1 kilometre marker at the end of the climb. The second at 10.2. The third at 18.9. And the fourth at 21.5. The fifth set of points, you pick them up at the finish line. Now, top 20 riders at each point, first across the line, score points 40, 38, 36, 34, 32, etc., down to 2 points. So being in that top 20, absolutely key to accumulate those points today. Well, you can see the women already out of the start pen and rolling strongly at the 2.9 kilometre marker. On the top right hand corner of your screen, that red line profile shows you that first climbing section, the AlUla Hills, where there are 7 rollers, is coming up shortly.
It certainly is, and as you can see, our riders out on that road, all as one tight bunch together. They're all, I think, who are in the race. This is going to be really, really interesting to see how they play out, see how these riders go, because they're all going to score points. So it's not going to be about scoring points or not. It's going to be about how many you score, and there's going to be some big points on those board as they come up on to the top of each of those checkpoints. So let's see where they come up. Let's see who can get this dialed. And Emma, there's a number of tactics that these riders can employ, and to some degree, it's changes as we see riders not taking to the start line because they've already qualified.
Yeah, it is. And the tactics to employ, there are lots of different strategies that can be employed here today to try and sit in the pack and be consistent, pick up consistent points all the way along, go out hard for the first 2 checkpoints and accumulate as many points as possible, and then hope you're in a gap, in a group that will be clear to pick up maybe the top 10 points on each of the rest of the segments. Lots of different tactics that could be in play. Now, Gorea, Nielsen, Marb, Melanie LaGrosse, Heber Smith, Samuel, Prado, all in here. Maria Thompson in here too. And the group looking like it's rolling strongly as it goes into the first of these climbs. While I say that, one rider looking like they're just starting to get distanced off the back of the group. These are short, sharp climbs through the AlUla Hill section. And as we said, 7 rollers, but they're punchy, really, really punchy. And they go to around 6, 7, sometimes 8% on the steepest, but they are over very, very quickly. They create a lot of fatigue in the rider's legs, and you need that punchy drive to stay in the group.
So over the top of the rises, over the top of the fall, a real critical moment really for these riders now to see how that's going to play out. 3K into this. It's a short race, Emma. This is not about holding your power back. We saw riders racing just recently in the MyWhoosh Championships. We were on really long stages. You could be a bit more circumspect early on here. It really is from the gun, and you're going to have to answer attacks everywhere.
Well, and points racing is different to stage racing. So in points racing, it's short, it's sharp, it's punchy to pick up those points. And the key for points racing here today is not your 20-minute power, not your 1 hour power. This is about 1 minute, 3 minute, and 5 minute power. You've got to be able to not just put out those powers for those short periods of time. You have to be able to recover and go again very, very quickly.
Now, just taking a little look through the names here, we've got a lot of riders who've put a lot of racing in. Palma Mongeli, Valentina Peretti. We've got German Prado in here. They've been racing. There's some of the key riders in here. They have been racing in that championship, so they've got a real good block of training in the legs. But they've also got a lot of fatigue in there. As a coach, you're going to be looking at this and going, right, you're going to have to be smart about this, because it could be that you're going to struggle. But they're going to know what they're doing. They're going to rest. What are they going to do for their rest? Is it just put your feet up at home and watch TV?
Oh, they'll have been spinning their legs out and getting that lactic acid out and getting the fatigue gone from the legs. And there's nothing worse than doing an 8-day stage race, and then taking a few days off and getting back on the bike, and your legs feel like lead. You've got to spin it out. You've got to flush it out. You've got to eat strongly. You've got to drink strongly. Those two things are key. So is turning your legs over, whether that is walking or spinning your legs on that bike. Absolutely key. Now, the group rolling strongly here as we're moving into the latter stages of this first section. So we're at the 4.5 kilometre marker. We've got around 1,500 metres of this climbing section still to go. We're seeing a bit of a push on the front now. The maximum number of points available for the first rider who crosses the line is 40. And that is going to be absolutely key here. Getting those points into your back pocket straight away, absolutely key, even though there are 5 opportunities for point scoring in this race.
So the riders making the way, top left-hand side of your screen, you can see that we've got the distance that the riders have covered. When we get towards a checkpoint, you'll see that bar graph fly across the screen as our riders fly in. It will be quicker across the bar graph if the riders are descending than if they are ascending, because it is based on their speed through that segment as they get closer to the line. The first checkpoint is not that far away, and these riders have to make sure they get this absolutely dialed. Here we go, up over the top of this rise, dropping down here, taking this left-hand turn. The pace is starting to pick up here. You can see as these riders motor the way in through the speed hovering around 40 kilometers now. You can see that from the rider we're watching at the moment, Sylvia Guerrero, just dropping to the back as they come on the board early. This is going to be key. So Kolowitz, Wiseman, Marb, Nilsson, all up at the front of this group. On the right-hand side of your screen, you can see that the watts that they're producing are either in white or in green. And in white or in green, that is essentially all about who has got the draft.
Well, the banner is coming very shortly, and Kolkowitz is absolutely dialing this on the front here. Thompson, Wiseman, Hebersmith trying to go with the Melanie Giuseppin comes up as well now. So these riders now really starting to drive towards the banner. This is a small group now going clear of the rest of the bunch as Wiseman, Kolkowitz, Thompson, Nielsen, Grassi and Garea. Big drive from the first 3. They're going to get the points, but who is going to get 40? I think it could well be Eleanor Wiseman.
So this is that run to the line for those extra. The riders in the group, a number of riders being distanced off the back. Palma Mongeli, Valentina Peretti, those riders we were talking about having that racing in the legs, along with German Prado, now sitting at 10 to 11 seconds behind the group. So our leading group of riders is now essentially 10 riders. It's a little bit fractured, but the top 10 riders just starting to race clear. You can see the overall standings on the left-hand side of your screen. Who scored which points, where and when. And those points, of course, will be ticking along as we make our way out and around the course. Wiseman, Thompson, Kokolowitz, then Guerrero, Marvin, Grassi, Hebersmith, Nielsen, Melanie, and Proust. Those are the riders who've taken the top 10. The riders at the front of this group just starting to stretch that lead. You can see them on your screen.
Yeah, you can indeed. And that's one of the things about those Alpha hills coming so early. That first climbing checkpoint coming at that 6.1 kilometre marker, they do split the group, and that's exactly what has happened here. So we've now got a group of 10 riders clear at the front here. Now those 10 riders will go into the next checkpoint, which is a sprint checkpoint at the 10.2 kilometre marker. They will go in clear. So first across the line will come from this group.
So that group are clear at the front, and then we've got a group of 3 riders behind. That is the Peretti Prado, along with, I think it's going to be Mongeli group. Then a little bit further back from them, we've got Jenny Pettinen, followed by Clara Lagros. They're in 14th and 15th places, respectively. Brooke Samuel currently in 16th place, with Birdie and Driscoll at the moment in 17th position on the road, heading into that checkpoint just as these riders at the moment reach the 7.5 kilometre marker. The front of this race well and truly exploding over the very first of those checkpoints, going over the Alpha Hill rollers. It's a very sawtooth profile, and if you're not right in the group, you can be really in trouble. The leading group at the moment, though, those riders really starting to stretch their legs. Wiseman, Kokolowitz, Nielsen, Hebersmith, Marb, Garea, Thompson, and co on your screens. And Emma, this is a great move for them. They've gone clear. They've got the gap. They are now ahead. They're not going to be brought back by a smaller group that is a multiple number of seconds behind. So that's not going to come back together again. It does mean they're now battling between each other. It's a case of looking and seeing. How many more are you expecting to see a big sprint as we come into our next checkpoint, and then a continuation? How are we going to see that break?
Well, we're in with Karolina Kolkowitz at the moment. She's on our screen, and you can see her concentration, wanting to stay in the group, wanting to bring her heart rate down, wanting to recover. That's what she will be wanting to do at this part of this course at the moment, coming into the next sprint. Now, what am I expecting to happen? I'm expecting a sprint to take place, but I'm not expecting the group to split. I would expect this group to roll into the second climb of the day. Picking up points here is about smart energy management. And to do that, you've got to get your recovery in as well. So I would expect to see a sprint here, and I would expect to see a big push from this group to pick up those points and to ensure you're picking up the higher points from the group. But they're going into the climb. And the climb's 4.5 kilometres long, and it starts, just around 3.5 kilometres after the sprint checkpoint. They're going to want to sprint, they're going to want to recover, and then they're going to want to push again on that climb because that climbing checkpoint at 18.9 will then lead them into what will be the last 2 sets of opportunities to score points. So even if they want the big points here, they're still mindful of the 3 more opportunities to score points after this sprint.
Lots of thinking whilst riding, whilst focusing on what everybody else is doing, whilst making sure, of course, you're putting down the maximum power and getting that pace in.
It's what makes points racing so interesting.
It does. And I was having a little read of a post put by one of the qualifiers in the American Championships, saying it's just so brutal when it's points when it's a points race, and how hard you have to work constantly throughout the entire race, because you can't afford to let anything go. You want to make sure that you're in position. You're constantly having to keep a check. These riders, to some degree, they know that they're going to be up there. Now, whilst we've got just this little break as I come in through it here, Emma, in terms of the qualifications, each nation had a quota.
Yes.
If they've already had performances in cycling esports as a world championship. So the nations have had a quota of riders. That quota of riders they can fill and they can select into. Not all of those spots are necessarily going to be taken by the nations. We've then got the public qualifiers where the riders would go into a block. Now, am I right in thinking that we are now going to be seeing any unfilled slots by a nation? So let's say, let's pick on a nation. Let's say Switzerland had 20 slots and they only filled 15 of those slots. 5 of the riders would be allocated to Switzerland from the public qualifiers? Will they fill into the spots that the nations don't select?
Okay. Well, it's a good question, actually, and one that I'm sure we will see roll out over the next, few weeks, because MyWhoosh have indeed said that the 150 spots in the semi-finals for both the men's and the women's ideally will be filled this year. So if there are spots available, they will be filled from the open qualifiers, and there's one more opportunity to score points, just like these women are scoring points right now, and it's Thompson versus Grassi versus Kolkowitz, and Kolkowitz came through, I think, there. But it's going to be interesting to see. I'm just taking a look. No, Thompson takes 40 points. Kolkowitz takes 38. Grassi takes 36. Gourea, Heber Smith, Wiseman, Nielsen, Proust, Marb, and Giuseppin are the riders who pick up points in this group of 10. And the order they pick them up in, you can see it leaves Thompson up the top with 78 points. Then Kolkowitz, Wiseman, Gourea, Grassi, Heber Smith, Marb, Nielsen, Proust, and Giuseppin. The rest of the riders still to come through. But going back to your point, Matt, in terms of filling those places, well, it's going to be really interesting to see how many riders take to the start line and how close we get to that 150 marker in the men's and the women's race. It's going to be a fantastic semi-finals on October the 3rd. And if you are out there watching the open qualifiers, you need to be at your screens, sitting there watching those open qualifiers on the 3rd of October, because it is going to be fabulous racing.
It certainly is. We're just in with Karolina Kolkowitz at the moment as we take a look back at our chasing group. Now, this is a rider who's become very familiar to anybody who has watched the MyWhoosh Championship. We're in with Palmer Mongeli, who completed the MyWhoosh Championships, which finished this week. You can watch all of that action back on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. Do make sure you subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel for all of the race action on the Sunday Race Club, on the MyWhoosh Championship, and of course on the UCI World Championships, the qualifiers, the semi-finals and the finals. Mongeli are one of our regular riders in here, and it's going to be very interesting to see how she goes today in that group with Prado and Peretti. I think they're just taking a little look here. We've definitely got Pentinen just with them as well. But this is going to be, for me, really key to see how these riders can deal with this and that recovery coming back in. I know Palmer Mongeli, I think a glutton for punishment, never seems to be off the racing, and just taking a quick check. Yep, nicely. So it seems to be looking comfy, despite looking like I've spent a lot of time on this boat recently.
Well, the front group rolling and rolling strongly. They're at the 11.7 kilometre marker. They are taking some recovery, and you can see that. So on the name bar on the right-hand side, the corners in blue indicate Zone 2, Zone 3 in green, Zone 1 in grey. So you can see at the moment all in Zone 1 and Zone 2. And so you can see this is... Well, they are rolling steadily. They are recovering from the sprint effort because they know very, very shortly they're going to start the climb.
Well, Karolina Kolkowitz, who's the rider we are featuring at the moment, a regular rider on MyWhoosh, ridden over 40 Sunday race clubs and taken 3 wins in her way on her journey. They were taken in Category 2. And has moved up into Category 1 as of May of this year. And very strong rider indeed. Very interesting to see that she's right up here in the mix. Now, I think this is going to be her first qualifying race for the World Championships, so she hasn't been in here. She did make the semi-finals of the World Championships last year, but didn't end up in the top positions in that semi-final and moving through to the finals. So she'll be looking for another chance to do that. Another rider that's in here, Kirsty Hebersmith, another rider that we see in there. And the GB squad, I'm right in thinking they are the squad that have the biggest Sweden.
USA.
Wow.
So USA, in terms of the national quotas, the USA have 20 spots, 10 for the women and 10 for the men. Germany have 18, 10 for the men. and 7 for the women. But they've also got the 18th because they have the male world champion who will automatically get a qualification place to that semi-finals. GB have 14 along with Belgium and Sweden. GB and Sweden both have 4 spots for the men and 10 spots for the women, whereas Belgium have 10 spots for the men and 4 spots for the women. So different national quotas, all based upon a little bit of allocation around points using data. The data that they're using in terms of those national governing bodies allocations, the 2023 World Champs, the 2024 semi-finals and the 2024 finals. The data being used from that all coming together to, allocate those national quotas. So Imogen Prado at the moment, she pushed on at the sprint point and picked up, I think that was 20 points to Jeremy Prado. She came through in 11th place. She's clear of the riders behind. Now, it's an interesting move as to whether she drops back in or whether she can get enough of a gap to maintain it so that she stays clear in that 11th position throughout the rest of this race today. Well, the top 5 point scorers on your screen at the moment: Thompson, Kolkowitz, Wiseman, Gurea and Grazzi. Really interesting group here. But the group now rolling towards the base of the next climb at the checkpoint at the top at the 18.9 kilometre marker.
So Maria Thompson leading the standings, a rider who's got experience of racing on the Cycling Esports World Championships in 2024, made those semi-finals, came in to those finals, scored on the way through, ending up in 56th position, so not inside that top 20 to make it to those finals on the way through. Another regular rider, and Thompson, a rider who's just completed the MyWhoosh Championship, came through in 14th position in stage 7. Her best position was a 6th on stage 6. So a rider who knows what it's like to be right at the sharp end of the racing, as we see Giuseppe Melanie just squeezing on here as we go up on to this little rise. It's going to start to put the pressure on the riders. This is where we find out which of the riders can hold this pace, which of the riders are likely to struggle. Just in with Marlene Proust at the moment. You can see bottom left-hand side, that heart rate right up at the moment at 175 beats per minute, ticking along at round about that 200 watt figure. It drops and it raises. Got to make a way back into that group though. 72 revs per minute, and the rider's just going over that crest of that rise into this slight downhill before the next steep section at 40 kilometers an hour. We come around the left-hand bend, then we get into another steep kicker. You can see that rising round to the right, and it's almost like a set of steps at the moment where you take that step up, you go along the flat section, you can take the next step up. This is the next kicker, this is the next push, this is where those watts per kilo, the power numbers are all going to go up. Lots of the riders being very careful to stay in the draft as much as possible. Nielsen very experienced at that. She's been holding that position, but at the moment it is Heber Smith who is starting to open this out. Heber Smith, who finished the MyWhoosh Championships, rode stages 1 to 7, best position and 18th on stage 6, ridden 2 of our Sunday race clubs as well. Opted not to ride on the one in the middle of the tour.
Well, and you know, it's really interesting, and I know you're talking about, you know, stage racing and the Sunday race club, Matt, and giving some background to our riders, but this is a very, very different type of racing.
It is, but it does give you an indication. I think partly because the stage race was so long, each of the checkpoints, there were so many prizes along the way. I think in some ways there was a bit of a points race going for the sprint checkpoints and the climbs checkpoints. And I think this is like a mini average. If you averaged out the stages of that MyWhoosh tour, condensed them into one average stage, so an atypical stage, and then shrunk it to 32k, this would be it. This has got a bit of everything. It's got roller coaster hills. It's got a big climbing. It's got flat sprints, and then it's all combined in the points where you've got to score points.
But I'll tell you
Through.
something. It is also replicable of stage 2 that the riders will face in the semi-finals and finals of the World Championships this year. So it is indeed replicable of what the riders will face. But then they'll have stage 1 and stage 3 as well. Right now, this is all about qualifying for that semi-finals, though, and this group of riders, part and parcel here, a little bit further back down the road from the leading group. But Jenny Patterson, the rider we're in with at the moment, she's got company here, and this is a multi-stepped climb. There is no long consistent climb on this course. They are all stepped, they are all short, sharp, punchy efforts, and you can see that on the top right hand corner because they've already climbed some of this climb already. They've got a little bit more to go. They've got 2 more steps. This one you can see they come up, there's a plateau. In fact, there's a small descent before they kick on to the final section where they will see that banner at the top for the 3rd opportunity to score points today.
So the riders in the leading group coming up here. Thompson goes to the 4 very quickly, followed by Nilsson. Nilsson putting down 350 watts at the moment, just pushes into that draft. This little kick starting to take its effect. Sylvia Garea moving up on the shoulders of Nilsson. Nilsson, no stranger to racing on MyWhoosh, a very experienced rider riding on that turbo trainer. And at the moment, she's got to respond to this attack because she's down in 6th place. Garea really starting to push here. That has pulled clear Wiseman with her. And I think this is what we're going to see. We're going to see this push and the rest, a push just probing. Nobody wants to give absolutely everything, I think, on any one particular part of this climb because they're always looking to save something for the sprint.
No, and what we're looking here now is at a group of 5 riders starting to edge away. And I say edge away because it's only 2 or 3 seconds. Melly Giuseppin, Kirsty Heber-Smith, Catherine Nilsson, Maria Marb are the riders in the group to the back here. But we're now coming into a flatter section. They should be able to squeeze back on and get back into the draft. And if they can, well, it is a really good thing to do, but expect the rest of the riders continue to push at the front. They're going to want to go clear. They're going to want to pick up those points. If the top 5 go clear here, well, they're guaranteed top 5 points. And I know that sounds really obvious, but it guarantees you something and you don't have to push and fight and battle at the line itself. Wiseman here trying to close this down. So is Heber-Smith. But Heber-Smith may well be looking to get back on here. Wiseman, Thompson, Giuseppe, Garea and Kolkowitz, the 5 riders clear at the moment. And it is Heber-Smith is doing a phenomenal job here trying to get back on the group, but she's taking the rest of the pack with her.
And that's the danger, isn't it? You try and push across. Everybody else who's in your group will stay in that draft. Just taking a little bit of a check of the places. I think we've got the 4 riders behind, just squeezing to get back in with the leading 5. They've got to keep on pushing. Here we go. In fact, you can just see it is all 5 of those riders. It did look like we'd lost one of our riders off the back, but it looks like it's all going to come back together again at this stage. But we are going to see another rise because this dip takes us into the final push up over onto the top here of the Vessel Rock climb, this left-hand turn here. And this now is a long climb section. You can really get into a rhythm if you're a good climber. This is going to be really, really key here. Sylvia Garea at the moment in the lead, really starting to push on here. A rider racing for Italy. She'll be representing them at the semi-finals if she can take that slot. And at the moment, she's going the right way about it, leading this race out. Look at the gap start to open up behind the riders. Leading 3 riders starting to pull clear. And that's Garea, Wiseman, along with Giuseppe. The rest of the riders now have to fight to come back onto the wheels. The gap is there. You can just see Kolkowitz in 4th place now, really fighting to get into place as Garea goes up, and it's going to take 4 riders who are going to be clear. It's going to leave 6 behind. There are more riders behind than in front, and the riders behind are one group, so they will have that advantage of a bigger group as they come off the other side if they stay together. Round to the left here, over the bridge, riser up to the right. You can see the archway in front. That polka dot banner is the checkpoint. That is where the riders need to be at the front if they want to score maximum points. Our leading group going. The gap is
Belgium and Karolina Kolkwitz from Poland. These are the 4 riders pushing clear at the moment. Heber Smith from the United Kingdom is the rider pushing hard from behind. She's now through into 5th place, but it's a big group further back as Kolkwitz and Wiseman now push on and battle for the points here. This is for the points at the top of the 2nd climbing checkpoint. Just 1 sprint and the finish to go as they head towards the polka dot banner. It's looking like Eleanor Wiseman, the rider from Belgium, will pick up the points. Kolkwitz from Poland will go through in 2nd.
So Wiseman going up there, pushing on over the top. She takes away points from Kolowitz. Gorea just stepping behind. Then it's going to be Heber Smith, then Marb coming up to the line. Thompson and Prost are not all that far away. Katrin Nielsen, the rider who's distant, she's currently about 12 seconds behind the nearest chasers to the group. She's on her own. She's been distanced on there. She's about 15 seconds ahead of Grassi at the moment. So our leading groups have thinned down substantially. When the points are added to the totals, you can see at the moment it's tight at the top. Those 4 leaders now into the 100 plus points marker, with Gorea in 4th with 104. In 3rd is Thompson, 106. In 2nd is Wiseman with 110. 2 points clear at the moment is Kokolowitz with the top spot, 112 points at the moment. So that gap just starting to open up behind the riders as well there, Emma. Our top point scorers, you can see them on your screen. Kirsty Heber-Smith's outside of that 100-point score. She led the chase group behind, and that's her mission now, isn't it?
And it's moved her up into 5th place overall, which is absolutely fabulous. So that work she's done on the climb, trying to close down the leaders, has indeed secured her what was 5th through that points, and it's moved her up into 5th overall. And here we've got a push coming on at the moment. Sylvia Gorea wants back in with the leading 2. Not content to ride in 3rd place. She wants to get back into the leading pack so that she can challenge for 1st and 2nd through the next sprint checkpoint. So we are at the 19.5 kilometre marker. We're on the descent at the moment from the climb. The next checkpoint coming at 21.5, so just under 2k.
So this leading group, as they went over the top, just started to split. They split further on the descent. Wiseman and Kokolowitz, the riders in the dark black and green. That is Kokolowitz. Wiseman in the white. Gorea coming down in the UAE ADQ colours, coming onto the wheels. At the moment, Giuseppe, the rider behind, 8 seconds down. The leading group of 4 going down to 3. Giuseppe is chasing hard behind that gap at the moment. 8 seconds, and then it's going to be a further 18 seconds or so back to Heber-Smith, Marb, Thompson and Prost. They are all together as a group of 4. Behind them, though, a number of points scorers have been distanced, and quite tellingly, Grassi is amongst them, who is up inside very much inside the top 10, knocking on the door of the top 5 in 6th position. Let's see how they're going to go. Who can make this get dialed? Who's going to get there? Emma, I know you regularly say, I love a stage race, but I love a points race.
I tell you something. I might love a stage race to watch and to follow the stories day in, day out and see who comes to the fore in different types of riding, whether it be time trials, mountain stages, flat stages or sprinting. I love racing. A points race. It's one of my favourite races to race because it's quite unpredictable, actually, and it's a very different style of racing. There'll be riders in here who are absolutely revelling in this, and others, who may who may wish that it wasn't a points race, but they've got to get used to it because if they want to qualify for those semi-finals, it's the semi-finals and the World Championships are points races.
They are, and that points racing is a really key thing that really shows within the World Championships. UCI World Championships are points driven. The new format for the World Championships this year for those semi-finals and finals really I like the I'm looking forward to seeing how that last stage plays out in the finals with what is basically an elimination race. Meanwhile, we're on the descent here. You can see Wiseman and Kokolowitz at the moment. So have Gorea just chasing to get on here. They are not making this easy by any stretch of the imagination. This is the run for the line. This is for the Face Rock Sprint. You can see that on the top left-hand side of your screen. Here comes the banner. Who's going to take the points? Kokolowitz or Wiseman? They're going to come in through here. here. They come over the line. We have to wait to see who's going to take those points. We are watching them go through. They go through the top two. Behind, Garea has come through behind. They've got to come in. The points at the moment, the 112 for Kokolowicz were the points that were up there. It's now updated, 152. So 40 points extra in the bag for Kokolowicz.
Well, really interesting to see that we had a switch of the points from the Vessel Rock climb. So through the sprint versus the climb, these two riders at the front switching. Their strengths are obviously slightly different. So Kokolowicz, the rider from Poland, taking the 40 points at the Face Rock sprint checkpoint. Wiseman, who took the 40 points at the climb checkpoint, having to be content with second and 38 points. She's still in a really strong position. Now, Silvia Garea doing a sterling job, and I'll tell you something, the rider from Italy now in third place. You can see she's not made the juncture to the two ahead, but she's 17 seconds clear of Giuseppin in fourth. And then it's now 45 seconds back to the chase group of Marb, Hebersmith, Thompson and Nielsen. So she's going to ride really strongly, Garea, now, and pick up some really strong points. All she's got to do is stay clear of the chase group behind. And well, Giuseppin is on a charge a little, but Garea has got to make sure she stays clear.
I'm not sure her mission, though, in her head is stay clear. I think her mission is to close down the front two. You can see her working hard here. Really is putting on the pressure, Garea, to get on to Wiseman. Wiseman here with the white helmet on the climb here, riding strongly as she comes up this climb. The Belgian rider pushes her way through up this little rise here. It's a little bit of a kicker as you come up over the top. The top of the Vessel Rock plateau itself is not flat, and you drop back down. She's going to come in through. So it's Wiseman, Kokolowicz, Garea just about coming up on to the heels behind. The points still being allocated out as these riders come through. I'm a little bit further behind the leaders on that checkpoint because all our riders will be getting points on the way through. They'll be added to their totals. So all the points that you see on your screens, obviously live at the moment. This is live and in person. It is coming to you on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. Do make sure you subscribe, hit that button and get notified for all of the scores, all the points, all the videos, all of the great updates that come from MyWhoosh.
Yeah, and it's interesting here. Wiseman using her climbing ability to try and go clear of Kokolowicz. Garea is now chasing Kokolowicz hard. But these three riders tapping a rhythm on the top of the Vessel Rock climb. You can see the overall standings there at the moment and a little bit of change around a little bit further down. So Giuseppin sitting in sixth. She's now on 118. Grazzi sitting in seventh at 110. Very close to Marb on 108. Nielsen on 104. Proust on 100. Then there's a bigger gap back to Prado, Mongelli and Peretti. Those three have been having a bit of a battle. Peretti and Penttinen on the same points tally. Legros, Samuel and Driscoll are rounding out the riders in this race today. Well, Wiseman now up and over the top of that section of climbing. She sits back down and tries to recover while the push continues a little bit further back down there on the same climb. This is the group with Jenny Penttinen in it.
So Penttinen in that group that is working very hard to move her way up through those standings, trying to close the gaps down, but also be very mindful of who is around them as well. And that is really key, isn't it? You've got to be so mindful of who's going well. They're going to be making their way in through. Penttinen out the saddle here. We can just see working hard with the group here. So Penttinen, Peretti, Prado in there. Mongelli also in the group. They're your group of four riders on your screens. And they're working well as a group because they're not breaking up too much behind. They do have riders on the road. So we have got Claire Legros along with Brooke Samuel and co behind, Birdie and Driscoll behind them. But in front of them, I'm just taking a little bit of a check on this group that we see on the road at the moment, just coming into that MyWhoosh archway here. The group that we're in with here, we're in with Katrin Nielsen. They had a very almost touching distance. They closed down on to Giuseppe in front, and that is the rider that we can we know is in front of these riders. It's this group. It's rolling about 8 to 12 seconds surely that push as a group is worth it, because suddenly you're not just riding for 5th on the road, you're riding for 4th on the road.
Yes, you are, but you've got to feel strongly enough in your own legs and ability, not just to close the gap down, but it's only 2 points. You know, there's 2 points between each of the places. So between 4th and 5th, it's actually 2 points. So why expend the energy to close that gap when actually the only possible benefit you can get is 2 points? If you finish at the front of this group, it's 2 points differential to how Giuseppin is going to finish. So where is the value in doing that?
And in that group, you can then take shelter. You're going to only do 1 turn in 4 potentially, rather than be right on the front. And the rider on the road is having to do all of the work.
The only real value of closing that gap down is the fact that the rider who's ahead of you in 4th may then finish 8th. So overall, you may pick up more points. It's a real weighing up and balancing act. Now, Colquitt's, the balancing act at the moment for Colquitt's is how do I maintain the lead here? Because she's doing an absolutely phenomenal job picking up the points. She picked up those points at the Face Rock sprint checkpoint ahead of Wiseman. In fact, Colquitt's, it was only Thompson who beat her in the previous sprint. So lining up for the finish here, Colquitt's, she's 2 seconds back, and it's really interesting. Sylvia Guerrea caught Colquitt's on the climb. Wiseman pushed ahead and went clear. Wiseman, Guerrea and Colquitt's, these 3 riders are going to be together. Once they get to this top of this small section, and it is really steep, it's a flat plateau and then the descent into what will be the finish line run.
And a quick reminder for you, our riders at the moment, well, they have travelled. Colquitt's has done 24.9 kilometres so far of this 32.4 kilometre course. So making the way in and along to the 25 kilometre mark. In fact, they've just hit that now. So 25k done of the race route so far. Critical, though, is this push down. I think realistically, given the volume of points that are left, how much do these riders want to push? And to some degree, I guess that depends on, do you want to take victory? Do you want to be able to go to your national federation? Go, I won. And riders love to win. I don't know anybody who you put them in a race situation goes, yeah, I'm in the top 3, but I'm not really bothered about winning. You know, you're there, you're in with the chance, you're going to take it.
Well, yes.
Oh, come on, you are. Why race otherwise?
Well,
what would stop you? What would stop you realistically if you're in the top 3 going, oh yeah, or in this group of 4 behind? You're coming into the finish, you're going to go, yeah, come on, let's go.
I'm not saying there is anybody in this race who doesn't want to win from their group or win the race if they're right at the front. But there are other reasons to race.
Well, yes.
Other than winning.
We might.
She says, as a commentator who calls the race win. You know, I think that lots of people race for lots of different reasons, but proving...
Maybe we can agree.
Winning against yourself, I think, is sometimes as important as winning the race.
Maybe we can agree that there are different ways of winning, but everybody wants to win.
Yes, but your definition of winning is the key thing that may be different.
Yes. There we go. We'll agree to disagree to agree to disagree. And if you follow that, you're doing well. You've clearly had more coffee than me. My name's Matt Payne. I'm here bringing you all the race action along with Emma Martin. Don't forget you can follow me. It's at Matt Fixpay. You can get in touch with Emma. It is at biking_Emma. Both of us commentating on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, the MyWhoosh Championships, as well as the UCI Championships for cycling esports. We also cover a lot of the other cycling disciplines, from mountain biking to indoor cycling to paracycling. I know Emma is going to be heading over there very shortly. So it's really good to see what certainly seems to be one of our favourites, if we're allowed to have a favourite discipline, really showing some amazing racing and making the most of it. So we've seen in the riders' data. I mean, I give my hind teeth sometimes to see what we're seeing on the right-hand side of your screen here for the riders in the Gravel World Championship, and see that power data that they're producing, to be able to look in on the window of the individual riders like Brooke Samuel here and see Brooke out of the saddle. Brooke, regular racer, regular rider, did an amazing job on the MyWhoosh Championships. Job done. Congratulations, Brooke. Dug in deep each and every day. They're in the Pain Cave, so if you are new to cycling esports, Pain Cave is the phrase for the place where you sit on your turbo trainer on your bike or on your smart bike, connected to the turbo trainer. All those pedal strokes are measured, the heart rate is measured, the power is measured on there, so that then is translated by MyWhoosh into the speed. Taken into account is the height and the weight of the rider, and all of that calibration, all of the verification of those facts. Data is an exhaustive process supplied to all of the riders across the World Championships in the public qualifiers, right the way through to the finals. And in the finals, the riders riding on provided by the sponsored by Elite, the turbo trainers, which have all been checked and calibrated and verified both by the manufacturers, by an independent authority, and of course then put in place for the riders to ride on in the finals, randomly allocated out as well.
Yeah, really interesting. In terms of how all that works. And I'm sure anybody watching today will be following us through those semi-finals and finals, and we will give you a full explanation at the appropriate point. Well, the 28.08 kilometre marker, there you go, to be precise. They're moving quickly because they're on the downhill section at the moment. They're running in towards the flat run to the finish. I say flat run, there are 3 small bumps along the way that may well allow Wiseman to push clear, and I think Eleanor Wiseman is the rider who will attempt to utilise those small sharp climbs on the run-in before we get to the finish line. She won't want to take Kolkowitz into a sprint because Kolkowitz has proved at the Face Rock sprint she is stronger. Now, Wiseman will want those points, and for me, that is the key place for her in terms of this run-in now to the finish line to ensure she goes clear. It will mean she needs to hold clear and stay clear of Wiseman and Garea, which will be a hard job. Well, we're in with Giuseppin at the moment, and Giuseppin has been caught by the chase group. This chase group have been working really strongly. They were at 45 seconds. They're now at 28. They're closing in quite strongly here as we head towards the finish. They've utilised the descent. This is for me, this is not just about what this chase group are doing, it's also about what the front group are doing, because the front group at the moment are riding at zone 1. They are recovering, and looking at each other for that run into the finish line. For them, it's all about who's going to take the 40 points. For this chase group, well, they're looking for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Who goes in that area is a good question, but if they can close this down, they could take it to a bunch sprint for the top 8 for the line, and that would be a phenomenal move.
It would, but 28 seconds? Surely it's going to be too much from the front to the back, 27, 28 seconds to the front 3. This group, I think it will be a bunch. I think it will be a group sprint between them. But I don't think the riders are going to be able to pull that back, not with the distance we have left. Top left of your screen, you see that we are now coming up to almost exactly 3K to go. There we go on the screen. So 3,000 metres, 3 riders clear, Kolkowitz, Garea and Wiseman. A 27 to 29 second gap back to Marb. Giuseppin along with Heber Smith, Nielsen in that group, and Prost. The riders have got to think now about how they take that. I think realistically, looking zone 1, zone 2 across the screen, across the riders, they are all focused on that finish. Nobody's on the chase here. Everybody's decided, right, this is the time to get that maximum sprint. And it'd be interesting to see how they go. I've just been having a little check of the data numbers of our leading riders on here. Some of the little things that we check out on the way through. They are so evenly matched.
Yeah, they are.
In terms of an FTP watts per kilo, so basically the power to weight ratio of all these riders, I was working it out, and there is 0.28, or is it even 0.26? No, sorry, 0.26 of a watt per kilo between them. Nothing.
Well, you say nothing.
Because that doesn't necessarily reflect sprint power.
No, it doesn't.
Repeatability.
No.
And what the riders have done before in training. How good a night's sleep did they get? How good were they at hydrating before the race and on the run into the race? How well fueled they are for the racing itself.
All
and
it
how
gives
they
you
can
is the
convert
power
that.
they should be able to hold for an hour.
And this is not an hour's finish. We are now coming down. We're heading in to what will be 2,000 meters to go. This is going to be absolutely critical. What do they do now? Where do you push? You can see the rises coming up in front of the riders at the moment. They're going to go up over the 3 key bumps here. Then they'll run down and push onwards. You can see here Garea squeezing. Wiseman is there. Kokolowicz really having to push now. She's into zone 6, as are all the riders that go over the top. Wiseman the first to ease off a little. Garea keeps on pushing in zone 6 here, and that dropped Wiseman back. It did allow Kokolowicz to come into the gap. Garea not able to make that count. Drop down. Next kick. Here we go. Take the momentum, speed picking up 41, 42 kilometers now, 43, going to 44, now 45 kilometers an hour. It's going to peel back down. That speedometer will drop. The power numbers will go up as they kick up here. Garea, Kokolowicz, and Wiseman. And again, it's Garea in that UAE ADQ colour scheme up on the front of this group. Holding the wheels is Wiseman. Kokolowicz at the moment just battling to stay in contention. But is she doing just enough so that we know Kokolowicz has got a phenomenal sprint?
And I find it really interesting that Sylvia Garea, who's the rider pushing on the front, she's the rider who had to close the gap down to Kokolowicz and Wiseman. And maybe she's over-egging it a little bit here. She's over-pushing because she's concerned about getting dropped off the group through this small climbing section. She knows Wiseman is strong. She knows Kokolowicz can sprint. Wiseman now pushing on. They're going to come off the top of this section of the climb. They're going to drop down. There's one more climb before the run to the finish. But Wiseman now pushing. And she's really, really pushing here. She's going to try and put Garea in trouble. Garea now needs to drive to stay on the back of the group. Kokolowicz has matched. Kokolowicz is on as well. Okay, Garea comes back off of the power somewhat. They are content that all three of them are going to be coming out of this section together.
Well, Kokolowicz came through there at 5.5 watts per kilo. She's continued at 6. She's wanting to drive on this downhill. She's really pushing here, and this is an early squeeze here. Is she looking to drag strip off? Is she maybe looking just to take advantage of the fact that Garea had put an effort in, and she's going to back her off? We're going to take this right-hand turn. It's a tight right-hand turn as we go around the corner here. This is tight. Let's see who can take this out. We're running into our last 400 meters into the long left-hand bend. The finish line is hardly visible to the riders for very long at all. You've got to get the timing right.
Timing is key, and Kokolowicz from Poland versus Wiseman from Belgium versus Garea from Italy, and it's Kokolowicz leading it out now. She's gone at 8.2 watts per kilo. Garea is trying to match the move, so is Wiseman. These three riders coming round the bend are going to see the finish line. Kokolowicz, Wiseman pushing. Wiseman, I think, is going to come up and over the top of Kokolowicz. Wiseman takes it from Kokolowicz and Garea. That is the way the finish points are going to go. So Wiseman will add 40 points to her total as we drop in with the group behind. Now this is a 4-rider group, and it looks like Maria Marb has gone early, so Marb goes first. Heber Smith is there as well, and Heber Smith now dialing it at 9 watts per kilo. This is some sprint from Heber Smith. She's trying to close down Maria Marb and go over the top to take the points today. Will have been a great move from Heber Smith to close this down if she can do it. Yes, she does. Fabulous work from Kirsty Heber Smith to close that down and pick up those points today. Maria Marb will take 5th on the finish. Nielsen in 6th, and Giuseppin, who was the rider they caught, well, she'll take 7th.
What a run for the line from our top riders coming in to add their points to the totals. All of our riders making the way in through the same course, making the way to the finish line. Our next rider on the way to the line is going to be Maria Thompson. So Thompson comes to the line. She's going to come across the line. She'll take the points for being in, I think that's going to be 9th place, behind Proust. This is going to be a run then for 10th place as they make their way in. And this is going to be Elisa Grassi of Italy. She scored really big early on in the points on the early sprints. We then came into the climb. She was distanced off there, but those early points are really going to have paid off for her in terms of her overall position. I think holding 110 points coming into this finish, it will prepare Pella back right up the standing. So we're going to see how she goes as they come in to that line. This is the push through. You can see a job done for Elisa Grassi. She can ease off that pedal and then spin down. And that is one of the key things, isn't it? The riders really do need to ease off on the power on the way through.
Yes, and what can I say? But if you are new to MyWhoosh, this is a points race, so it's not about who came over the line first. It's about who scored the most points, and Karolina Kolkowitz did that indeed, scoring 190 points today in this race. Eleanor Wiseman picks up 188. Those two battled strongly. Sylvia Garea picks up third place, 176 points. Maria Thompson comes through for fourth with 162. Kirsty Heber-Smith, that great close down driven by her to give her 156 for fifth. Melanie Giuseppin, a great ride as well, 146 took her to sixth. Maria Marb, 140 in seventh, and Catherine Nielsen on 134 gives her eighth place today.
So those riders coming in and through the line to score those last points, really critical. Kolkowitz with that sprint, adding to her points, not enough to take the very last sprint. You can see the riders out on course at the moment. Peretti just sprinting in over the line, just seen on one of our screens here, just coming in. A fantastic sprint from Peretti and Prado, but they will go through in 11th place for Prado and 12th place for Peretti. They are the point scorers so far. And this is qualifier number 3 of the 2025 Cycling Esports World Championships. That UCI World Championship title with the rainbow bands at stake. It's all here on MyWhoosh that you can jump on board and ride. Come and join us. Come ride, come race on MyWhoosh. It's really easy. Download the app on iOS, on Android, and of course you can do it on Windows as well. You can mirror up onto an Apple device. There's loads of different ways to jump on board and ride. Do come and join us. My name's Matt Payne. I'll be putting words to the action to the men's race very shortly. I'm sort of due up a little bit later on today. I'll make it just over an hour's time. I'll be joined by Emma Martin once again. And Emma, riders can get in touch with you. If you're watching, get in touch with Emma. It's at biking_Emma. Get in touch with me. It's at Matt Fixer Payne. Men's race, more the same, really, I guess. Loads more points, loads more sprints.
Lots more points on offer. And let's not forget, there is one more Open Public Qualifier available to anybody who wants to attempt to qualify for the UCI Cycling Esports World Championships this year in 2025. It is coming up next week. You can still enter, and entries, of course, on the MyWhoosh website /events.
So do make sure you jump on board, get on board and ride. And hopefully you've been inspired to jump on wherever you are in the world. And as Emma says, have a go. Come and have a go. See how good you are against the best riders in the world. We are going to take a break. Make sure you come back and join us for the men's race that's coming up on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the racing so far. We'll see you very much in about an hour's time. But from Emma and me and all the team at MyWhoosh, we'll see you then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.